Hey VC, it's BSpeak68 here. I'm gonna make a quick video. I kind of a Easter weekend, Easter bunny kind of showed up at my house a little early, so I actually went out looking around. Had a day off yesterday and went and hit a couple garage sales. Didn't find any records. Did find me a nice turntable, but I also hit our local half-price books, and I went to one that I don't generally go to because it's quite a bit distance away from where I live. But I'd never been there before, and I was going to go visit a friend of mine that I haven't seen in a while. We were going to have lunch, so I headed out there, and boy, LJ, you talk about the adrenaline rush and being giddy like a little schoolgirl. I hit the mother load, and I just couldn't stop. I had to force myself to stop picking up records because there was only so much that, you know, I just didn't want to spend as much as what I was doing, but I couldn't turn them down. They're not outrageously expensive, but when you add them all up, they weren't dollar bin picks. A couple of them were, but somebody walked into this store and must have dumped a whole collection, and it's the majority of what I got outside of a few. It's all 80s hair metal, 80s metal, late 70s, you know, through the 80s. But here, let me give you a show. First few that I got here are replacements for ones that I have. I had nice copies, but these things were near mint. Looks like they'd never even been played. The covers were immaculate. I even still got the price tags on them. I haven't had a chance to clean them all up yet, but kind of wanted to put a video out. First one is Crocus, One Vice at a Time. This is a replacement for a copy that I have. Hardly any wear to the cover at all. Vinyl's mint. Night Songs by Cinderella. This is a replacement for one that I have. This one's beautiful. This one, I just couldn't believe the condition of these records, and the price was right. So, a couple of Motley Crue's, Theater of Pain. I don't know. It's just a mint copy. The ones I had were in good condition. Covers were had little marks in them, not real bad, but Shout at the Devil. The only thing wrong with this one is there's a little bit of white rub here and maybe in the corners where mine had. The front looked really well, but it's kind of worn all the way around. You can see the white. And then Quiet Riot 3. This thing doesn't look like it's ever been played. I know it wasn't their biggest album, but I have it in my collection already and figured I want to get a better copy of it. Now here's a big run of albums that I didn't own, but they were just such great pickups. I've heard everybody talk about this band, and I've never listened to them. I played this album through last night and fell in love with it. I'm gonna have to keep my eye out for it, but Marillion, Misplaced Childhood. This thing is mint. I mean, outside of a couple little bumps in the corners, it's just a beautiful copy, and the mint's so clean. Like I said, some of these I opened up and pulled out, and there wasn't even hardly any lint or dust on the vinyl. It was just like they took the plastic off and never even took it out. This is one I had to pick up. Frankie Goes to Hollywood, Welcome to the Pleasure Dome. I did not have this one. I had been looking for it, but usually when I run across it, it's pretty shabby. So that's a nice near mint. Then I got some in here, some albums that the groups I'd never heard of, but I figured I'd give them a shot. This one's Armored Saint, March of the Saints. This copy is beautiful, and I love the cover on it. Never really heard of them, but giving them a try. I'm actually listening. That's what's playing in the background now, and really like what I hear. Here's one I had to pick up. Didn't have this on vinyl. I've slowly been trying to pick up some of the Rush albums. I've got quite a few, but there's a few, like I still got to find me a good copy of 2112. But I did get a nice copy, except for some sticker markings on it. Fly by night, vinyl's mint. Got a little bit of, looks like there was a label or a price tag up there originally. Now it does have the price tag on there now, and they haven't cleaned off yet. But this is one of my bulk finds. And this thing is near mint, got a little bit of rub wearing on the cover, but it's April wines, harder, faster. Goes in my April wine collection. Another band that I had never heard of, and I haven't listened to this yet, but I'm kind of interested. House of the Lord. This looks like a self-titled album. That was an RCA print. It was from 1998. The interesting thing about this is I'd never seen this RCA label. And on the back, I know it looks like it was a BMG order, but I've never seen this RCA label. I don't know if any of you have. I'm sure you have, but it's a red RCA label. Looks like Simmons Records also is one of the other labels that did. I've never seen this before, so it's kind of neat. Vinyl's clean on it. Never heard of the group, but I figured I'd give it a shot or try. Oh, let's see, get that back in there. I've heard this one go around the VC. I've heard a few people talk about it, so I gotta try this out. Hiroshima. This is another place. I picked that up, like I said, a couple bucks. You couldn't beat these records in the conditions they were in. Keel, their self-titled album. What can you say, man? 80s hair, man. It just grew up with it and love it. This is one that I had a while back. It was kind of in a not that good a condition. I've been looking for another copy. This one is immaculate. It's except balls to the wall. I think I have it on cassette, but I found a nice copy of the vinyl. I mean, outside of a few spider webs off the edge of the spine, it's mint. And all the vinyl in these, I mean, it's superb. There's next to nothing marked on them. This one I did not have was Quiet Riot's Condition Critical. I don't know why I never had picked this up. I think a lot of it is I look at some of the copies I've seen out there and they're just very beat up. Nice one to go with my Twisted Sister. Under the Blade. This is just immaculate. Now here was a couple of good finds for good prices, and these things are immaculate, and I was so happy when I found these. I was literally going through the bins, and I was going through one group, and I looked through there, and I'm like, oh, got that, pick that, grab that. Now I'd look over, and like 2 or 3 storage places down, there'd be like one sticking out. I'm like, ooh, gotta grab that one. So it was kind of I just hodgepodge, grabbed a bunch up, stacked them up, and then finally went through and double checked everything else. But Judas Priest Turbo, this thing is immaculate. And then right behind it was Defenders of the Faith. And I mean, everybody knows about black covers and all that, but these things are so clean. It's just amazing with the condition they're in. This had to have been from one collector, is the only thing I can guess. And this person, whoever it was, thank you for taking such nice care of your vinyl. Let's set that one to the side here. Kick-Axe, Vices. Haven't listened to that either yet. There's one for you, LJ. This actually is one of my favorite albums by this group. I think it was just because of the era, and I listened to this album back to front so many times. Kisses Animal Eyes. Between this and Lick It Up, yeah, it was after the heydays of their makeup and all that, but I really liked the music that was on there. There's another Crocus, Change of Address. I mean, it's just, the condition on these is just amazing. There's no, without looking at it with your own eyes through a camera, you just wouldn't imagine how mint these copies are. Fastway all fired up. I've seen this one shown. I think it was LJ that showed this one. This thing's sweet. The cover is so cool, and like I said, it's mint. It looks like the plastic wrap just got taken off of it. Oh, let's see here. This is one of the best covers I've seen for this album. I've seen this album multiple times, never picked it up because the album cover is usually trashed. It doesn't have the calendar attached to it, but the vinyl is clean. It's on the Green Warner Brothers label, but there's like barely a little rub at the top of the album where there's a ring wear, but it's, well, let me grab that. Alice Cooper's Killers. I mean, let's see if I can get it up to the camera. This one I have had so much, I wanted to pick it up, but I've had so much trouble trying to find it that clean without the cover just being completely rubbed to death. Oh, and I did pick this one up because I've heard this one thrown around the VC, and I figured for the price I was going to pick it up, and this cover is immaculate. I was hoping I'm saying this right. It's Dado 2001. I mean, the cover's so glossy. It's clean. I haven't given this a spin yet, but I'm looking forward to giving that a try. And then I had, and then when I was at this one, Half Price Books, the cool thing about it, some of our Half Price Books down here, they do on Friday nights, they from like 6 to 9, they do a 20% off all vinyl. And what they do also is they do like a small like record swap. And happened to be that I talked to the guy behind the counter, and I said, you know, he goes, if you come back tonight, you can pick those up for 20% off. And I said, well, I live way far away. Is it possible maybe I could still get the 20% off? And he called the manager, and because of all of my bot, the manager gave me 20% off, which was cool. And then there's a book I've been trying to find. So this poor guy, he hunted around and finally found it at one of the other half-price books that I usually go to. And so I had to run over there. So when I went over there, I also picked up this mint copy of Black Sabbath, Mob Rules. This is immaculate. It is so clean. Did not have that one. Then I also come across a couple books. I do love Pink Floyd, and I seen this book, and it was in their clearance section, and it's just illustrated biography of Pink Floyd. It's just, I mean, it's just an amazing book. So many photos. In the back, it's got a complete chronological history of the band, starting from ground up, special events, to albums when they were released, to when band members joined and left, and it's really nice. So I look forward to digging in after I read the book that I want to get. Started reading this yesterday, and some of you guys that grew up in the 80s as teenagers or whatnot, I highly advise you go and pick this book up, because I've just started in it, and this book is killer. I don't know if anybody else has seen this. It's called Ready Player One by Ernest Cline, and what it basically is, it's like takes place in the year 2044. World's falling apart. You know, the economy's crashed. All our resources are gone. People are living in skyscrapers built out of mobile homes. But there's this guy that creates this, basically a mass online computer program that all these people and all the people in the world can log into, called the Oasis, and it takes them away from the real world. But the catch is, in the beginning, it actually takes place, the man passes away. He's a multi-billionaire, but the book starts about 5 years after he's passed, and what he did is he created Easter eggs within the program. They're keys to go unlock, and whoever wins and unlocks, gets the keys to unlock the vault, gets all of his inheritance, everything that he owns. That's like $214 billion, and control of his companies and everything. And it's everybody's hashing in trying to find it, and for they're not having any luck. But the cool thing about this book, and why I said if anybody's lived through the 80s, this man that wrote this book was a huge 80s pop culture fan. I mean, the guy knows so much about the 80s. Movies, television, music, video games, the clothing, dance styles. I mean, the book, from right out the get-go, it's the references and the quotes and stuff are right out of the 80s. If I can find this one. Okay, I'll just read this real quick to you. You can get a kind of idea, see if you guys get an understanding. At first, I couldn't understand why media was making such a big deal of a billionaire's death. After all, the people of planet Earth had other concerns. The ongoing energy crisis, catastrophic climate change, widespread famine, poverty, and disease, half a dozen wars, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria. Those quotes like that, which anybody that, I'm not even going to say where that came from. I'm sure a lot of you can figure that out. Those quotes are like through the whole book, and referencing to video games and to music styles. And and what it does is everybody, the 80s actually comes back in 2044 because people are so trying to find this fortune that they learned everything about the 80s. The dress style comes back. People are wearing, mohawks and coloring their hair. I mean, excellent book. I read a lot of reviews about it, so I finally got it, and I just thought some of you might be interested in it. It's very entertaining. And I just started the book. I mean, I'm not even through the first chapter, and it's pulled me in. I did find a couple little Goodwill finds. I'll show you these real quick. Nothing major. I got the Dramatics 10.5. It's a funk group. Pretty good. Kind of listened to it. Found this compilation album that looked really nice. Splat Records LTD compilation album. This is 80s bands, but they're at least not a lot of bands that I know. The only one on there I see that I've seen before looks like Velvet Elvis. I listened to it. It's pure early 80s pop. It's a cool album. I was kind of happy to find that. An album called Selector. Another 80s band, never heard of them. I picked up this. Cover's all beat up. Vinyl was in fairly good condition. Who by Numbers. I didn't have that until I can find a better one. It'll do, 50 cents. What can you say? And then I had to get this one because, man, as soon as I seen this cover, I started cracking up. And anybody that sees this cover that knows who this is, and experienced him when he was on TV, you can't help it. But it's Jimmy Walker's Dynamite. And look at that. Look at that face. How can you not help but laugh at that? That guy, the facial expression he could make, it just put tears in your eyes. And one other thing. I did get my copy of Dereck 3. I want to thank Dereck. I've listened to this album probably, since I got it yesterday, at least 3, if not 4 times. He was nice enough to put a little CD in there so I could put it in my car too. So I was able to listen to it in my car. Dereck, the album's beautiful. You need to get some of these other ones out on vinyl. I'll buy every one of them. They're just amazing. I actually went to sleep listening to this last night. It was so soothing. I know everybody's listened to it, heard it for the most part in the group, but I just wanted to let him know that, the music's touching. It really, truly is. So I just want to let him know I received it safe and sound. That cover's just beautiful. My daughter came in today and seen that. She's going to art school in college, and she's going to be working on she's a master's in art and in merchandising and stuff like that. She picked me. This is my Easter Day present from my daughter. Led Zeppelin t-shirt. Right now, Dereck, she's got this. She took this CD. She's got it in the car. She's out shopping, so she's listening to your CD. She just loved that cover. That cover just blew her away. She loves that. So, but that's about it. Kind of want, I guess, I kind of making it a little long, but didn't want to go too far. I got a pile of records here that I'm going through, some duplicates and stuff, and if anybody's interested in doing any trades or wanting to look, what I'll do is I'll make a small video of just what I have. I won't necessarily post it straight on YouTube, but you know, if you guys want to PM me and want me to send the video to you and go from there, you know, leave me a message or a comment and tell me, you know, how you guys would like that. You know, if you want to look at what I got, maybe we can work up some trades and stuff. That's cool. I'll talk to you guys later. Have fun.